Unfortunately, in this business, there is no room for hindsight. Not as a handicapper and certainly not as a gambler, but in retrospect. Think back to Saturday's video report when I laid out what the divisional playoffs have been over the years. Couple of important factors, and they all came true and bore fruit this weekend. First thing I told you was that generally, the division round of the playoffs have been like blowout city. If you go back to 1975, that is the overwhelming trend. And it happened again over the weekend. 3 of the 4 games decided by margins of 10 points or more. Going back to 1975 now, 144 division games played, 75 of them decided by 10 points or more. That is 52% of the games. And how about the Packers? One even bigger at Atlanta on Saturday night. 63 of those 144 games have been decided by 2 touchdowns or more. That is a nice little 44% winning percentage over those years of 144 games dating back, again, to 1975. The other thing I happen to mention to you is the success of road dogs in the division round in recent years. Going back to 2003, they are now 19-13 versus the spread. And, of course, you had 2 road dogs winning outright here this weekend, Green Bay and the New York Jets. And, of course, those 2 road dogs happened to knock off the 2 number 1 seeds. And the number 1 seeds, the perils that they have faced in division play over the years. I noted it on Saturday, and look what happened, guys. They both go down in flames. Number 1 seeds in the division round of the playoffs are now 9-7 straight up, 4-12 against the odds makers over the last 8 years. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Monday video report. I've got a free pick on Kansas and Baylor, which tips at 9:30 Eastern Time tonight in Big 12 action. The one thing though, and let's just use a little retrospect here and go back in time. If I had to think about one thing, though, that really hurt a team the most this weekend, it had to be the layoff that the New England Patriots endured. I know the Jets played a hell of a game yesterday, and I know the Patriots certainly struggled offensively in the first half of that contest. But when I think about how good the Patriots had been at the end of the year, 8 straight games, scoring 31 or more points to finish the season, and 5 of those games came against playoff contenders, including the 45-3 blowout of the Jets on that Monday nighter 7 weeks ago today. But the layoff had to come into play and certainly affected that team managing just a field goal in the first half of that game. And you see that so frequently. It doesn't apply to the Atlanta Falcons, who got off to a pretty good start against Green Bay. But even if you go back to last Monday's BCS title game, when Oregon and Auburn had been idle, I think it was, I told you at the time of that report, like 42 days since they had last played, December 4th, in fact. So you saw how those teams look so disjointed offensively. That is often the case with the top seeds coming off the bye. They're in tune. They're on a roll. They come out after the bye from the first round, the wild card round, and they just simply fall flat on their faces. Look at the Steelers, how they practically gave away the game against Baltimore coming off the bye as well. So, again, though, don't have any room for hindsight in this business. So I took a split. 15-dime winner, of course, on Saturday with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a 15-dime loser yesterday on the teaser involving the Patriots and the over. Still not too much to complain about. 11 out of 16 winning days so far here in 2011, and 9-1 with my plays rated 15 times or higher. Now, I've got to be honest with you. Today is a lousy basketball card. I only found one game that I was extremely interested in, the one game that I'm personally wagering on, the one game I'm releasing to you is your battle between Syracuse, undefeated, one of only 4 undefeated teams currently in Division 1A basketball, at Pittsburgh, a one-loss Pittsburgh team that earlier this season suffered its only setback at the hands of Tennessee. Pittsburgh is 6-point favorite here. Do you grab the points with the undefeated road dog, or do you lay the wood with the Panthers? That is my play tonight, and that's the only thing I've got available. Now, in terms of your free selection, let's look at this Kansas Baylor game. Another Another undefeated team, this time on the road, Kansas, but the Jayhawks are a 4-point favorite in Waco tonight. 17-0. Why are they only laying 4 points? Well, there's a couple of mitigating factors. First of all, Kansas really struggled in its game at home Saturday against Nebraska, winning the game 63-60, a game in which they trailed by 10 points in the second half before rallying for the win. Prior to that, they barely got by Iowa State on the road, 84-79. Before that, a 67-60 victory over Michigan. So a team that has won by an average margin of 22.5 points a season has won its last 5 by an average margin of just 5 points a game. They failed to cover all 3 of those games. They're just 2-7-1 against the spread their last 10 in-line games. However, I'm still taking Kansas here tonight for a couple of other reasons. First of all, they're 15-2 all-time in the series, including 6-1 in Waco, and they've won 4 straight on Baylor's home floor. Now, Baylor has won 26 of its last 27 at home straight up. Last 15 wins, in fact, by a margin of 18 points a game. But this is a Baylor team that is a 1-point road favorite on Saturday, lost outright at Iowa State, and it wasn't even close, 72-57. So they lose to Iowa State by 15 points on the road as a 1-point favorite. That's the same Iowa State team that at least Kansas did beat on the road, 84-79. The other thing is that, Baylor in big games this season simply hasn't delivered. Lost to Gonzaga by 4, lost to Washington State by 6, lost to Florida State by 7. Just 3-6 against the spread on the year. The Baylor Bears are, more importantly, look at the RPI factor involving these two teams. Kansas, number 1 in the country in terms of strength of schedule. Baylor, number 99, as Kansas has certainly taken on all comers this year, and I think Kansas also has a big advantage in the front court as well. With the Morris twins, Marcus averaging nearly 17 points and 7 rebounds a game, Markeith averaging about 13 points and almost 9 boards a game. Baylor is more of a perimeter guard-oriented team, good outside shooting team. Kansas, of course, likes to funnel the ball down low as Bill Self is continually adjusting his player rotation back in the guard spots. But I'll go ahead. I'll lay the 4 points with Kansas in this one, and that'll be your free selection for today. Good luck, everybody, and catch you again on Tuesday.